Good morning, everybody. Diego Martinez, candidate for governor of California. So we have interesting concept going on right now with the recall. A lot of you guys know that we are almost there when it comes to, got my notes, sorry. When it comes to the signatures that we need right now. So that's going on in full effect right now. I'm kind of letting people join us a little bit. It's been a crazy week. We've had a lot of communication, a lot of questions. If you guys have seen my flyer, it says immigration reform, talks about the homeless, and it talks about taxes. Well, the first thing everybody wants to know is, what's this immigration reform program? Well, I want to talk about immigration and why it's important that we do an immigration reform program, but I also want to take the time to explain it. Because when I talk about immigration reform, people don't, you get turned off right away because, oh my God, here comes another leftist that's going to give everything else away for free. We're just going to open up the borders. We're going to do this. Well, the reality is none of that is true. It's actually a lot more centered for the California taxpayer and what's best for us here in California. We know that Donald Trump wanted to build the wall. We also know that our current president has stopped the building of the wall. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes here. We're going to let some people join us. And if you guys have any questions or you want to come on in and make comments about immigration reform, or you have any other questions that we could go over, I will get to them. I have you guys live. Instagram, welcome here. And people on Facebook, welcome. We already have a few people watching. Gordon, thank you for joining us. Maribel, Kenneth, Linda, thank you guys for joining us. So let's start with the immigration reform program. I've been getting this question a lot. Number one, I want everybody to know that we are going to finish building the wall, or the portion of the wall that belongs to California. I think border security is key to the safety of people here in California. I also believe it's going to help us with job growth by securing our border. I believe that we need to know who's coming in and out of our country and out of our state from the southern borders. I'm an immigrant, so I want everybody to know that. So I am not against people coming to the United States. I'm not against legal immigration. That somehow have gotten lost somewhere over the time. So let's talk about my immigration reform program. Number one is definitely securing our borders. What I mean by securing our borders, they might be shut down for a little bit. Somebody once said, you can't have your company come over unless you clean house. So that's important. Making sure who's coming in, making sure they're coming in for the right reasons, making sure they're the right people to come in. I'm not talking about these waves of caravans that the president has invited in here right now, and I don't believe that our borders should be down and we should have open borders. I think that's the biggest mistake that our president right now is pushing. A lot of us came to this country legally. A lot of us have suffered to come to this country. We left a country, we left our family, we left everything behind. So they find themselves in the United States illegally, trying for a better future. So we all know that's against the law. So let's not, we don't need to beat a dead horse in this when we talk about that. But now we have a problem. So there is a real problem in California. It's called illegal immigration, illegal people, and they come from all countries. So I don't want everybody to just think it comes from Mexico or Honduras or Guatemala or El Salvador. We're talking about every country. Israel, you can name a country, Russia, just about every country, Africa, Asia, China, we have different nationalities of immigrants, Vietnamese people. So when I talk about illegal immigration or immigrants, I don't want everybody to just think I'm talking about the people down south or south of our border. It's everybody who is in California that right now is an illegal alien. We also have programs like the DACA program. Everybody knows what DACA is. And it's basically a child that came here very young. They came into the country illegally with their parents, but they grew up in the United States, kind of like myself, where this is our country. This is all we know. So Obama's administration did what they call a DACA program. The problem with DACA is that it never gave an end to anything. All it did was put a Band-Aid. And you guys hear me say that a lot. It put a Band-Aid and it keeps taking money from everybody who's in the DACA program just to give them a false security that they're here legally, which again, they're not, because there's no end to it. You have to keep renewing DACA. Last I checked, it was every year you have to renew for DACA. And for a while there, they weren't accepting applications. Now they're accepting applications. So basically what I'm laying out is why we have a problem in California, why we need to reform immigration. Gavin Newsom, our governor right now, gives illegals free medical. They haven't paid a taxpayer cent, but yet they get free medical. Here's the ironic part about that. You, me, and anybody else who's been paying their taxes here in California, if we can't afford insurance, because medical insurance is kind of outrageous right now for some people, with the way the times is, some of us lost our insurance, some of us just can't afford it. At the end of the year, we get taxed $1,000 if you did not have insurance throughout the year. Now, I don't understand that concept. You're giving free insurance to people who didn't pay 1 cent in California tax, yet you're taxing the California payer for not being able to have insurance, that you're giving up our insurance to people that haven't earned it. So that program needs to come to stop. The program that says free needs to come to stop. We need to get away from sanctuary cities, sanctuary states for illegals and illegal activity. I don't believe in that. That being said, we have 2.5 million people who work under the table, which are here probably illegal, don't have a work permit, don't really have a visa. These people, and I feel for them because they're scared to be here. They're scared to go anywhere else but home and to work. They'll spend some tax dollars going to the grocery store. Well, all that affects us as taxpayers, because guess what? We have to front their free services. So all the free services need to come to stop. We need to secure our borders. We're going to start there. My proposal for an immigration reform program is, I know that we cannot deport everybody who's here illegally. I know that the DACA program has good intentions, but it needs to have an end to it, which means that more kids just can't come, more families can't come here, bring their kids, and we're just going to keep giving them the DACA program. We need to put a stop to that. Our main issue now is the people that are here, that are working illegally, that aren't paying their fair share of taxes, yet are getting free services from us here in California. And a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I had another young lady tell me that her neighbors are illegal. They're working under a fake social. They don't pay their fair share of taxes. They have a grow going next door to them, and that's not right. She is 100% solid that it's not right, and that needs to come and stop. So the idea is this. You guys hear me say this. Real California solutions for real California problems. Now, if you guys are out there watching this, how many of you agree that illegal aliens giving away free services to them, that they haven't paid a penny into taxes, and the health care and everything else that we're giving them, how many of you guys believe that that's a true problem that we have in California? Well, I've gone up and down California, and a lot of you feel that way, and I agree with you. I agree that it's a problem, so now we need a real solution for it. So instead of allowing more people to come in, because we're not going to do that, what about if anybody illegally here should not receive any benefits? Can it? I agree with you 100%. I'm going to go a little step further than what you just said, though. If we're going to help somebody, we need to help the California taxpayer and the people who are donating, contributing revenue to the state. We shouldn't give it to somebody who just came over, who has no ties, have never paid anything. I don't know how many of you guys remember a couple years ago, Starbucks said that they were going to give 10,000 refugees a job if they came over to the United States. Yet my kids at the time were trying to get a job and they couldn't even go work at Starbucks because Starbucks wasn't hiring them. So I stopped going to Starbucks. It's very plain and simple to me. If you don't want to support the people that support you, Why should we support their company when they want to support somebody from a different country that just came here illegally, hasn't spent one red cent on their products? Well, that's what's going on with our health benefits. That's what's going on with welfare a lot here in California. I believe that people need help, so don't anybody take that the wrong way. But my solution for all this, because I have to have a solution. Otherwise, we're going to just keep the problem going and going and going. We talked about the Beretta program that was back here earlier, where it meant that people got to come to this country, do a work season, and then go back to their own country, come back the next season and work. Well, that program got messed up because of some policies that changed. So now we are here with 2.5 million people working under the table. How do we fix this problem where it's fair to everybody? We cut out all the free services. We cut it all out. Free benefits, they're done. What we need to do is take those free benefits and give them a legitimate work visa. Do a 3-year, 4-year work visa, okay? They're not taking anybody's jobs. So I want everybody to understand that. I'm going to talk about that here in a second and why this makes sense, okay? They're not going to take anybody's jobs. They already have jobs, but they're working under the table. They're probably working under conditions that none of us would ever want to work with or should never have to work with, and they shouldn't either. But people take advantage of that too. Employers take advantage. So my proposal is we do a 3-year, 4-year work visa where they're able to establish themselves. We are able to do a background check and help them earn their way to a green card. And if they like, help them earn their way into a citizenship. This is an earn. This isn't a give. Okay? So what does that do for the California taxpayers? First of all, it relieves us from some of the taxes that are getting thrown away. Might help us get some better services for the taxpayers, not people who haven't paid anything into the system. The other thing, it creates more revenue for the state of California, which at that point allows me as the governor to be able to work with legislation to reduce California taxes, because now we have more revenue coming in from people who haven't been paying their fair share of revenue. And we don't have so much money going out on services that are no longer needed because everybody's now working for the same common goal. That also talks about the DACA program, allowing the people who are in DACA to have an end goal. That means a work visa with the end goal of them being able to earn their green card, them being able to earn the right to be able to produce in California. I do need the federal government for some of this assistance because it's just, right now we're talking about a California program, not a federal program. To make it federal, I will need the president, the Senate, and the congressman to agree to help me do this launch. But at the same time, we have to look at Gavin Newsom didn't ask our permission to give away, didn't ask our permission to give away our health care benefits and money to people who haven't contributed to the United States. So we're going to kind of use the same method to be able to do a California work visa for the people who are already working. They already have jobs, so they're not taking anybody's jobs, okay, guys? So don't think of it that way. I'm also going to help Californians protect their jobs, okay? And this is how this works. I go up and down California. I've probably been to your city, and we can discuss this in full because it's easier when we break it down to the fullest. I go up and down California. Somebody said, oh, you're going to try to bring 2.5 million more people. No. Or these people are going to take our jobs. No, they're not. These people already have a job. They've risked their lives. A lot of these people have been here for 10, 20, 30 years. And immigration is so hard to get into. It's so hard to just deal with the system. It costs a lot of money, and a lot of these people just don't have it. So I want to give them a hand up, not a handout, to be able to get that going. But it's going to help us in California because they're going to bring in revenue that we're losing right now. So instead of losing revenue, we're going to bring revenue. The second step of this is think about this right now. And again, anybody and everybody's willing to join, come on in and join. Work visas with legitimate socials to attack understanding contribution to the community is essential in order, I'm trying to see the rest of it, to receive any benefits. And again, Kenneth, I agree with you on that. And that's why A work permit gives us 4 years to get to know their background, gets to know who is in this country. Do we really want them in California? But if they're an offender or they're somebody that we don't want, yeah, they're going to get deported. We only want the best of the people that want to contribute into our state and help our state grow for a better future, where it allows us to be able to lower taxes. Now, how many of you guys been hearing out there that minimum wage is going to go up to $15 an hour? It's kind of crazy when you think about it. I remember when I worked, it was $3.25. $3.25 an hour is what we used to make. Now, when you're talking about $15 an hour, if you're a small business owner like myself, it's really going to cost jobs. People are going to lose their jobs because at 25 is really the employer's paying 25. Now, I'm going to throw out a scenario out there that's been thrown out to me a million times when they're trying to defend why we shouldn't do an immigration reform program. But I'm going to show you guys the other side of the coin here. People say that illegal aliens take our jobs. How many of you guys out there will agree with that? There's probably some truth to that, right? That some illegals will take some of our jobs away from us because they'll underbid us, right? So let's put a scenario out here, and guys, please start commenting here because maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. If you're a small business owner, and please put your mind frame out there that you own a business, even a big corporation, you have two people that can do the same job. They're both qualified the same. They both have the same skill level to be able to do the job. You have a California resident, a California citizen, who you have to pay $15 an hour to. Here you have an illegal alien that will work for $10 an hour. Who would you hire? Now, let's not all jump at the same time. And I know there's a lot of you guys who say, hey, I would never do anything illegal. But when you put dollars and cents to this, we'll go 80% of the people will hire the $10 an hour person and do the same job as the one that does for 15. So if we don't do an immigration reform program, we're really going to lose jobs because that's the scenario that we're looking at. So why would we want to do that? Why wouldn't we want to take away all the free benefits, give them an opportunity to get paid exactly what the next person gets paid with a work permit where they're turning around and paying taxes just like the rest of us, and they're contributing into the system, not taking away from the system. To me, that's just common sense. So to me, there's a solution to the illegal immigrant problem, to the problem of California taxpayers losing jobs, because now you have the same two people and it costs you the exact same no matter who you employ. So what are you going to do at that point? You're going to employ the best person for the job, not because somebody's less money. So when we talk about reforming immigration, I'm talking about a plan, universal plan that will help each and every single one of us who are here legally, who are taxpayers. Now, during that, we're also going to find out that there's people here that shouldn't be here. They have no right to be here. On my way in this morning, I was listening to the radio and they were talking about a girl who got shot in San Francisco. I don't know if you guys know the story. Cortez was the guy's last name, and he had been deported 6 times. And he said that he found a gun at a bench in San Francisco, unwrapped it, and the gun went off accidentally. This young lady lost her life. They were trying to pull a bill saying that if you've ever been deported and you committed a felony when you came back after being deported, you would serve 10 years of federal prison. Our Senate and our congressmen didn't want to pass that bill. I don't understand that. So that's why it's important that we secure our borders. That's why it's important that we know who's here now. Allowing people to have a work permit costs the taxpayers a lot less money than the free medical insurance that we're giving them right now. It's also less than trying to deport everybody. Now, somebody once told me that the people who we're trying to help, giving them a work permit, are taking jobs from the homeless. God, when we talk about taking jobs from anybody, what's our president done? This guy been in office for what? Maybe a month, not even a month yet. And he's destroyed 11 million jobs and counting. We have a solution for the homeless problem, which is ideal for what's going on in California. And it could be the pilot for any other state that's facing the same homeless issues that we are here in California. Well, California has a lot of problems that contribute to one. If you guys look around, how many manufacturing jobs do we have in California these days? How many new industries do we have in California? We lose jobs every month that are leaving California to go to a different state because the cost of doing business in other states is a lot less. So if doing business in Nevada, doing business in Texas is a lot less for a manufacturer or even a bigger corporation, why wouldn't you do it? So what does that tell us? Illegals aren't stealing our jobs. Our government is stealing our jobs. The guy who's running California is stealing our jobs. Not the president, not anybody else, but the guy who is running this state is killing our jobs. Rumor has it, Tesla's leaving. Tesla's the last auto manufacturer that we have here in California. Now, whether they leave and they take their employees, how much tax revenue are we missing out on their taxes, their employees' taxes that they're paying on payroll, on going out and buying services, on housing? How much of that are we losing by allowing a corporation to leave? A manufacturer to leave. Every time you turn around and I hear this, well, there's green new jobs coming. There's green new jobs coming. Where are they? Because our unemployment is going through the roof. We are losing every day that we allow a career politician to stay in office. We need to bring manufacturing jobs back into California. We need to bring corporations back into California, because they want to do business with us. That's going to help us fix the homeless problem. The homeless problem is twofold. So we'll get to the number one. We need to get people off the street. The mayor of San Diego, and a lot of you guys know who he is running for office. He went on Fox not that long ago, and he said when he becomes governor, he's going to fix California. Well, I have a problem with that. I don't have a problem that you want to fix California, but my problem goes a little deeper than that. If you have a solution to fix California, why didn't you fix San Diego? I'm just asking for a friend, because the San Diego people want to know, why is it that all of a sudden you want to open up California when you couldn't even open up and stand up to Gavin Newsom and open up your own city? You dumped $93 million into a hotel, which is the same plan that Gavin Newsom didn't work. You dumped another $43 million into another hotel, which, again, didn't work. So my plan for the homeless. First, we need to open up mental health. 70% of the people who are homeless right now have mental health issues and nowhere to go and no help. In just Southern California, there's 3 mental health institutions that have been closed. And I am actually going to go over there. I'll take some pictures next time I'm down south, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. I know that I have to reverse the law that Ronald Reagan put in effect. So yes, I'm aware of it. But it's kind of hard to go into all that stuff when you're speaking to people on how to fix mental health. That's the number one. We need to fix the homeless with mental health issues. We need to put them in a place where they can get the help that they need. Okay? It's not about throwing them a blanket. It's not about throwing them a meal anymore. It's about fixing the problem. You guys hear me say this? Real solutions for real California problems. And the homeless is one of our biggest problems that we need to address, and we need to address it now. We can't keep stalling. We can't keep throwing money away like we do, like the governor right now. There's all these programs out there throwing a lot of money out for nothing. Second phase of the homeless issue that we face here in California. A lot of them are alcoholics, drug users. So they need the help to be able to go into a rehab center where they can get out of drugs, get out of alcohol. If you guys drive around in some of these cities, you guys can see how many military bases are still available. They all have barracks. As a matter of fact, down the road from me in Atwater has an air base. I was there by the other day and I saw the barracks and they're vacant. Well, what are barracks? Barracks is basically a living quarter that we can turn that living quarter into a 1-bedroom apartment with the help of the people who are homeless. So what we're gonna, this is twofold, so please stay with me here a little bit. We are gonna provide trade schools, which we need in California dearly for everybody, not just for the homeless, but for everybody. So we need to provide trade schools and the ability on the job training so people can actually go back to work and learn a trade. We also need to bring back apprenticeship programs. So we'll get back to that here in a minute. My plan is to be able to go to homeless areas where they're at, get them into these areas and have them help us build their own housing. So we bring some pride back into them. But not only that, provide rehab centers on site with counselors that can help them. Yes, that does cost money, but a lot of that money is already being allocated. Remember I just said $93 million, $40 million? If we look at how much Gavin Newsom has just spent on some of these hotels with no programs. They just do the hotels so that people can stay there for free and do whatever they want. Well, that's fine and dandy, but I want our investment to get something out of it. Because providing housing for the homeless, providing them an opportunity to better their life, is going to provide us with people who can come out and work. They'll have the trade skills to be able to go on their own and be able to move from these housings and be able to come out and be productive members of society, because that's what we want. Habitat for Humanity, they're a great program and they've done wonders. A program like that can help us at their second stage once they're clean, once they have a job, once they have a trade. You guys heard me talk about bringing manufacturing and these companies back to California. Well, the biggest question is, how are you going to do that? Well, we're going to give these corporations, we're going to deregulate a lot of the stuff that's going on. We're also going to give them an opportunity to get a tax cut. Yeah, we're going to cut the richest taxes. Yes, folks, because they're providing a service with apprenticeship programs so that your son, your daughter, even yourself can go through a trade school and then get an apprenticeship program to one of these bigger corporations, these bigger manufacturing places that will be able to give you a better wage. So it's not always about raising minimum wage. It's about making a better living. So just let's put this down. If you're making $10 an hour, yet your taxes are less and you're taking more money home than if you're getting paid $15 an hour and getting taxed to death. Sure sounds better to pay less taxes, maybe make a little bit an hour, but have more money in your pocket than giving it to the government, and that's what's going on these days. We're giving a lot of our money to the government, and we're not keeping enough in our pockets. So that is the idea on cutting some of the regulations to bring manufacturing and other bigger corporations back into California, having an apprenticeship program with these companies that come back into California where they get a tax break and we get the people that we need in the right places and get better jobs for everybody. On the job training, a lot of manufacturing companies will allow that because that's how they get and develop a workforce. When I was 18 years old, I worked at a lumber mill. I didn't know anything about lumber. I didn't know anything about working in a lumber mill. But Fiberboard at the time took a chance on me. They trained me. They gave me a good wage. And I became a good employee for them. And there's still people after Sierra Pacific bought them out that have been with that company 20 years that I know that we used to work side by side there. So companies like this is what we need. In California, we need to bring the lumber industry back. We need to maintain our force so that it will reduce the damage the wildfires do. These are my plans and my ideas. I covered immigration. I hope that everybody got a better understanding of my immigration reform program And leave me your comments, whether you agree with them or whether you don't. I like criticism from both sides. The only way we're going to fix California is by working together. And that means you can send me your opinions and I'm going to hear what you have to say. You can listen to mine and then we can have a discussion to figure out what's best for California. We have a lot of guys that have ran for office, that have been politicians. Look at their records. Look at their special interests. Now, this is something crazy, okay? I have a special interest. I have a special interest group. I'm going to tell each and every single one of you guys what it is right now. My special interest group is you, the California people, the California taxpayers. I'm going to do a job. I'm going to get paid for the job I do. I don't need special interest money. What I need is the special interest of the California people and the people here in California to have a better life, to be able to live your American dream. So when people want to know what's my special interest group, look in the mirror. It's each and every single one of you. We are at a point in the United States and California where party lines don't matter. Guys, look around you. Both parties have failed us. Both parties has let us down. You want to make a difference in California? Change the way you're thinking about voting. Change your vote. Sometimes that's where the difference comes in. The person who's making the decisions. It doesn't always have to be red or blue. It has to be the best person for the job. If you guys don't believe that, look at Donald Trump. Look how many jobs he brought back to the United States. So we saw that. We saw our taxes go down. We saw more corporations, more industry. Pipeline, ring a bell to anybody? What happened? A different person got voted in and they're not the right person for the job. 11,000 people lost their jobs by stroke of a pen. How many more are losing their jobs now? All of a sudden, no more border patrol, no more watching our borders. All of a sudden, open borders. How many people died? And this is something that nobody wants to talk about. But I'm going to bring it up because I brought up immigration. Okay? How many people died on a false hope that they could come to the United States because of what Biden said? How many people lost their lives? That's a number that a lot of us will never know. But if you've ever made that trip, if your family was ever came to the United States illegally, have a conversation with them. They'll tell you. It's a shame that somebody would put that kind of hope on a bunch of people to try to come over here. They die along the way. They get raped. They get robbed. It's inhumane. And these are the people judging a man who said, we're going to walk down to the Capitol and we're going to peacefully protest. Let them know what you think. And that man's getting fired. Funny how much of our millions of tax dollars are being wasted right now on that. It's a shame where we've came. It's a shame that the people that we voted for have let us down, have turned their backs on us. That's why I'm running for governor of California. Because I'm just like you. Don't have all the money in the world. I work for a living every day. I'm not going to promise anything that I can't keep. And when I'm in office, my phone is available to each and every single one of you anytime. I'm going in this for the right reasons. I'm going in this for the California taxpayer. I'm going in for the blue collar worker and the worker of California. I'm going with simple, common sense solutions for our problems here in California. I'm going to ask everybody to forget your party lines when you vote this time around. I'm going to ask everybody to look at me. Go to my website, DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. If you're on Facebook or on Instagram, you can go to Diego Martinez for Governor 2020. It'll say unofficial, but that's because Facebook won't let me change it. We are official. We are going to be on the ballot, and we are going to fight for California. When I mean fight for California, I mean we're going to fight. We're going to fight, not fist fight, not in a violent way, but by words, changing legislation, and helping. Yes, I said changing legislation, and somebody's going to say, oh my God, you can't make laws. I know that the governor can't make laws, but what I do know is that we can oversee what does change. And we can have the assembly write up proposals and laws. Under a Diego Martinez administration, every single one of you will know what's being proposed. Nobody's going to sneak in an SB 145 without the California people knowing it before. Transparency, accountability is number one. We have got to gain our trust on the people who are making the decisions about our livelihood. We have got to get away from the stupid gas tax that isn't going anywhere. Our roads are the worst ever. Our Central Valley farmers are going to get the water that they deserve. We're going to change the water rights, and we're going to make sure that everybody gets the water so we could grow our food, so we could be independent. We're going to fix our roads, and we're going to watch where the money goes. We're going to watch it trickle down to where it's supposed to. We are going to also make sure that our schools are teaching where they're supposed to be teaching, because our children, our education is our future. I'm a simple person, just like the rest of you. I work for a living. As a matter of fact, I'm in my office right now, coming to work every day, and I run my campaign. I've gotten a lot of support, and I can only thank you that's out there. I'm going to tell you, we are going to open California. We're going to talk about the mask mandate once I become into office, because that's going to go away. And I'm not saying that COVID-19 isn't real, so please don't ever take that the wrong way. But I also believe that we live in the land of free, and that we have choices. And as an adult, I hope we all feel that we can make the right choices. If you feel like wearing a mask, please do. If you don't feel like wearing a mask, don't. But nobody should ever be harassed by their choices or persecuted because they're not wearing a mask. If you're sick, wear a mask or stay home. If you're healthy, come on out and enjoy life. Our kids need to go back to school. I am starting a program with a friend of mine. His name's Alan, Dixon Moto Speedway. It's called Mini Moto. The program's been going on. A lot of you guys know anything about this. And I'm bringing this up because I want to get people's feedback on this. A lot of you guys have been watching the news, so you guys understand that a lot of the women's sports are now getting taken over by transgender. I don't believe that's right. If you're born a female, you should be able to compete in a female level. If you're born a male, you should be able to compete as a male. But if you're transgender, why don't they have their own competition? If they're going to be around and you want them to play sports, why aren't they playing with the opposite teams of the same transgender? Have we thought about that? That being said, a lot of women are losing the opportunity to be able to compete in sports because of that. So a friend of mine, his name's Alan, and me, we're working on what we call, it's called Mini Moto. It's basically go-kart racing and miniature motorcycles racing. We're putting together a sponsorship. Right now, we're going to do a pilot program with 3 young ladies where they can go actually out there. We'll sponsor the carts. We'll sponsor their fees for the track to be able to get into a motorsport where basically the playing field's level, right? If you can ride, you can ride. If you can drive, you can drive. So we're putting that together for young ladies to be able to do that and be able to compete at a level where it's fair. I believe that school should be open. I don't know if you guys saw me last Saturday. I was over in Lodi. And these kids were out there talking about they need their schools open. Well, I agree with them. Teachers need to get back to school. Vaccinations are going out. If the government feels that safe about them, give them to the teachers. Allow the teachers to have a choice whether they want to do it or not. But let's get our teachers back to school. Let's get our kids back to school. Let's open up California for a better future. Let's open up California to save our businesses that are barely hanging on. If you guys go to a big box store and you can support them, start supporting the small businesses that have crossed the line, that have the courage to be open. And if you don't support that, don't go support them, but don't give them grief. Don't make somebody's livelihood that much harder to try to live at, because everybody has the right to make a living. Everybody has the right to be safe when they go out. We're not going to defund the police. We're going to strengthen our police departments. We're going to give them the education that they need and the funding. By no means does that mean that they will not be held accountable for their actions, because accountability needs to start from the lowest person all the way to the governor, because accountability is what holds everybody in place and what has not been happening in California. Under my administration, there'll be accountability as far as myself and everybody else. Our safety is our number one priority. And what I mean by our safety, we talked about border security. We are talking about police safety, patrolling, and making sure that we feel safe as we walk outside of our house. We need to reform our prison system, which means that criminals do not need to be let out of prison. We do not need to be shutting down prisons, but we need to reassess our prison system so that it's financially stable for all of us. Well, that about concludes what we had to talk about today. So leave me some comments. More than happy to come back and we can touch some of these topics that we talked about today or anything else that's concerning you. My name is Diego Martinez, and I am a candidate for governor of California. I am the people's candidate because I'm just like you. We work for a living, we go to church, we try to feed our families, and we try to live a righteous life. It's time for change. Change the way that you're voting. Forget about your party lines because they failed both of us. And let's make a difference in California. If you have not gone out and signed the recall, it's a good time to go. 1.6 million today. Let's get it to 2.2 million to ensure that we can have a better future while there's still California to save. I'm going to invite everybody out to Petaluma, TNA gun store. I am going to actually be out there on the 28th of February. Come on out, come meet me if you're in that area. It's a meet and greet. Come say hello. Ask me any questions. We're going to have the gun store's going to be open. So for you guys that need ammo, need to buy a gun, come on out. Yes, pro Second Amendment. We'll talk about that on the next video. Guys, thank you very much. Thank you for joining. Diego Martinez for Governor. DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. Diego Martinez for Governor 2022 on Facebook. And if you like my cause and you feel you can support me, go down at the bottom link and please donate. Everything helps. Yes, and I will also be in Santa Rosa right after my meet and greet. There is a book signing from Kevin Kiley, and we're actually going to go from my meet and greet, and we're going to actually go over there, and we're going to be with Kevin Kiley, and we're going to watch the signing, and we're also going to be able to speak, and it'll be another opportunity for more people to be able to meet me. If you guys can stand behind me and support what I have to say, please donate at the bottom link. Everything helps. And right now is the time that we need to push. So what I'm asking for is a small investment for a better future of California. And if you feel you want to invest, it's a good time. Invest in Diego Martinez, candidate for governor. I'll see you guys on the next go.